We're not going to have a very long discussion today, so we're going to kind of cut right to the chase on many things. My name is Jonathan Jones, and it's my privilege to be your host and moderator for the afternoon. My co-host is Alfreda Strong or Jeff Ashby. They're always here. Wealth of knowledge and information and experience between them. But our objective here is to pass on information that has been scientifically validated and proven. We're not here to diagnose or make a recommendation for a treatment for any disease. So we have to make that real clear right from the beginning. This information is for information and educational purposes only. Sometimes you get a laugh out of it, but I don't recommend that you do anything that I say just because I say it. I strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. I am not a medical doctor and don't claim to be one, but I am a researcher, so I dig, and I dig a lot. And the reason for that is because I watched my mother die. So that may not sound like a whole lot to you unless you also have had the same experience. And it only happens to you once in your lifetime, but my mother's mother was still alive at the time. And the thing that made it so tragic for me was that the intensive care nurse and the medical system sat there and told me that they were praying for her immune system to kick in. And that just does not make any sense to me, that with the kind of money and resources that are available to the science and medical community, that you got to sit around and pray about it. And I'm a strong believer in the power of prayer, by the way, but I had that covered by somebody who knew God's name. So I expected them, for the money that they were being paid, to actually be doing something. So it pointed me in a different direction. So I was done with being in the computer, electronics, and engineering world, and decided that I would never be in a position again where I did not have access to an immune system kicker-inner, number one, and that if someone asked me a question about said immune system kicker-inner, that I would not be able to answer that question, because to this day, I still remember my mom telling me over and over and over again, I got to check with my doctor first. And I didn't have enough to be able to push past that objection. But I would never deal with that situation ever again, would never face that situation again. So here's what we're going to be talking about today. We're following up on our discussion from last week. And last week we were talking about COVID brain. Now, they've been studying the effect of COVID brain for a long time. So this didn't just happen. It was more than a year or so ago now that they actually identified in vitro, that's in a laboratory, in a dish, an unexplained phenomena. They could not understand why COVID cells moved toward brain cells and lodged in brain cells in a petri dish. They just didn't understand. It was like a magnet was drawn to it. They didn't understand it. And if you happen to be a person who was talking about this phenomena, you were blacklisted and you were called a conspiracy theorist. And that's just for identifying something that was happening in a petri dish in science. It had nothing to do with red, blue, black, or white. It just had something to do with the fact that science said it was happening. Well, now they know it's happening, and it's no longer conspiracy theory. It's very, very real, and it's causing very real issues for people. So got one quick video I'd like to share with you. Now, when I went out and searched, I found endless numbers of videos where this has been being discussed, but I decided I would just show you at least one little example of it today as part of our discussion. So let's see if we can get this thing to play correctly here. There's a button on here that says replay. There it is. Okay, I'll tell you what, let me just manually back it up.
Researchers at UC San Diego may have figured out why the coronavirus can cause brain problems in some people. ABC 10 News reporter Jared Aarons takes a look at a new study that shows the virus attacks the brain differently than other organs.
I actually did have a couple of days where it felt like I just had a fog over the front of my forehead.
When ABC 10 News spoke to Danica Shaver in November, she told us her COVID-19 infection caused major issues with her brain.
I've never been forgetful, and this brain fog, this forgetfulness is kind of irritating because I'm not used to it.
Shaver's not alone. The CDC says 30% of all COVID patients report some kind of neurological problem. Now, new research from UC San Diego may explain why a respiratory disease affects the brain.
So the issue is that each organ system will react to virus in a different way.
Dr. Tariq Rana's lab used stem cells to create mini organs of lungs and brains. They found the virus grew 10 times faster in lungs, but it did more damage to brain cells because it triggered an immune response that can lead to cell death. They published their findings this month.
Even though viral infection is much less in brain, but this lower infection led to the pathways to kill those cells.
Now they're testing treatment options to try and solve the problem. Good news for people like Shaver.
I have to take pictures of what I've done over the weekend because otherwise I'll forget. I'll maybe remember one place, one event, and that's it.
That study helped Dr. Rana's team get a grant from the California Institute of Regenerative Medicine. They now plan to expand their research to include stem cells from people of different races. They want to find out if the virus affects people differently based on their ethnicity. Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.
Well, not a very long report. I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person that I'm not as interested in how or why it's happening. I'm really more interested in the solution. However, did you notice what was stated in that report in their summary of how it's causing damage to the brain cells? They hinted at something. They hinted at something that we discussed last week, that there's an immune response being triggered in the brain that destroys parts of the brain. Okay, so there's an immune response being triggered in the brain that's destroying parts of the brain. That's what their study revealed. And we've come to learn that that's part of the axon. Now, the axon is the bottom part of the neuron that connects to other neurons. So COVID brain can be stated in simple terms as being the immune system being put in a position to slow down the brain's ability to signals to jump from one thing to the next. Now, it doesn't take much. You don't even have to be a computer scientist to understand that signals have to jump from one place to the next in order for information to pass. If you have an old-fashioned telephone, you remember those things? They used to go ring, ring, ring. Remember those? The old-fashioned telephones, we actually plugged them into the wall. I'm saying that facetiously because I know the majority of people on here are seniors. So all you have to do is be over, wow, you got to be over 50 probably to remember that. But anyway, if you didn't have the telephone plugged into the socket in the wall, what would happen? The phone wouldn't ring. You wouldn't know that someone was trying to call you. You actually had to plug it in order for the phone to ring and for you to have a conversation. Now, of course, you can pick your phone up, you could talk anywhere in the world, it's connected to nothing. So, but you actually had to have a connection. Well, your body is wired and the brain is wired. And those neurons can't be short-circuited. They gotta be the way that they're designed to be. Now, we can talk about the science part of it all day long, but think about that, what that woman just said. The woman who was being interviewed in that report just said that she has to take pictures of what she did on the weekend because she might remember one thing, but the rest of it didn't happen. Now, just drill down into what that means. The connection is not being made because that's how our memory is made. A memory is made because the information moved from one place into the memory area. But if it's not making that jump, the memory is not being stored. So as far as she's concerned, it didn't happen. That's happening to a lot of people. Now, you may be saying to yourself, okay, well, that's people that's having severe cases of COVID. The majority of them are mild cases of COVID. Mild. Little cough, scratchy throat. The COVID cells are ending up in the brain. They've also found, and they're not supposed to be there, by the way. So they should not be in the brain because it, as you heard, it's a respiratory issue. Why is it making its way to the brain? They've also found S1 spike proteins in the blood system. You might remember this about maybe 2 months ago if you were here on the program when I interviewed Dr. Prasad about long haulers. He said, no, there's no S1 proteins in the blood. And I told him about a new study where they just found that the S1 protein is showing up in the blood. He says it has no purpose there. I sent him the study. There's no way that anybody can keep up with all of this stuff. So I didn't intend to blindside him with that, but it just happened. And it was a natural statement on his part. And that's the only part of it that mattered, was it was a natural statement. He said, it's not in the blood. And that tells you from a scientific point of view, it was never intended that those spike proteins would end up in the blood. It was never intended for it to be there. But the fact that it is there is something to be concerned about. Now, what's the good news for you? All right, that's what's happening. Is there any good news? Is there an upside to this at all? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. And I'm going to kind of give you I'm going to take you the long way there, because I'm laying the foundation for what you're going to see next week, with the discussion that we're going to have next week. So I want somebody to unmute right now and tell me what you're looking at right now. Give me a summary. Tell me what we're looking at right now. Quick, first person to unmute, just start talking.
Looks like health books.
Health books. Very good. Very good. More specific?
Dr.
Written
Prasad.
by Dr. Prasad.
Yeah.
There we go. These are books written by Dr. Prasad. Now, here's the harder question. Which one of them do you think has anything to do with our discussion today? Oops. Sorry, it went away. I was trying to zoom in on it.
All of them.
Well, they all do, yes, that is true. But specifically when it comes to the brain,
Concussion.
That's a good one too. But look at this one down here that you might
Alzheimer's.
having a hard time seeing. And if I can get my computer.
Parkinson's and Huntington.
Bingo. Parkinson's and Huntington's disease. Parkinson's and Huntington's disease. Now, Alzheimer's is important too, but that's a book that Dr. Prasad wrote. We need to ask him some questions about that book. We need to know more about that, because this man sat down and wrote how and why vitamins and antioxidants have an impact on Parkinson's disease and Huntington's disease. Now, are you like me and you're saying to yourself, well, what exactly is Huntington's disease? Was anybody thinking that question? You probably were, but you just don't want to say it. I'm going to say it for you. I wanted to know about that. I wasn't sure. I didn't know exactly what Huntington's disease was. So I decided to go in and look for it. Well, I didn't look there. This thing just disappears on you. Where did it go? I had a nice screen up so that I could show it to you real quick and easy, and it appears to have disappeared. Oh, I know what happened to it. Okay. When I closed down the screen that was displaying the YouTube live stream, that's where the window was.
I Googled it.
Excellent. I'm going to show you here in just a hot second. I'm hoping that it'll pop right up where I was. Okay, so now let's go back. And you probably found the exact same thing when I searched it. So this page comes up, and I decided I would not use Google because, you know, every time I use Google, they start sending me advertisements and telling me things that I was searching for as if I want to buy it. So I didn't want anybody sending me packages with Huntington's disease in it. So I decided not to do it on Google. I'm a little bit facetious, but I'm also partly serious. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Where it says Huntington's disease? Okay. It's a condition that leads to progressive degeneration of nerve cells in the brain that affects movement, cognitive functions, and emotions. Now, degeneration of the brain. That's kind of what the researchers just found. They just found that when COVID gets into the brain, it causes damage to the brain. It does damage to neurons. It's doing damage to the axon specifically on neurons. What are the symptoms? Well, I'm just going to click on that button right there, and let's just see what it says the symptoms are. And we're going to confirm all this next week with Dr. Prasad. So I want to know. I want to know, and I'm sure you want to know. And I guarantee you that every single person that you invite next week is going to be happy that you decided to invite them. But let's look at the list. Look at the list. Now, chorea, involuntary jerking and writhing movements. Now that sounds a lot like Parkinson's. So, and you might remember, who's that? Michael J. Fox was the most popular, the most high-profile celebrity that came down with Parkinson's, and that's what happened to him. We all saw it: tremors, rigidity, or contracture of muscles, slower abnormal eye movements, impaired gait, posture, balance, difficulty speech, swallowing, cognitive disorders, a whole list of cognitive disorders, a whole list of them. Mind you, and on that list is lack of control over impulses. So if you find yourself going into a store and just buying up stuff just because you can, you know, you might have Huntington's disease. I'm just kidding. You may not have Huntington's disease. I'm just saying that. That's one of the items on the list. Oh, wait a minute. I got to talk to Joanna about this. Anyway, just a joke. Then psychiatric disorders, depression, mania, irritability, social withdrawal, insomnia, fatigue, suicidal thoughts or tendencies, apathy. Now, and I'm sure that there's a lot of stuff here that's not on this list that very well could be a connection between what we're seeing happening among the I don't want to say crazy people in the world, but there's a lot of crazy things happening. But back up to cognitive disorders. Those first two lines, the first two lines on the cognitive disorder: problem with organizing, prioritizing, or retaining focus on task. Getting stuck on thoughts, behavior, or action. Inability to process thoughts. Difficulty learning new information and finding words to speak. So when it comes down to this particular disease, would you in your wildest imaginations wonder or even think that a vitamin could have an effect on this? Would you think that vitamins and minerals could have an impact on this? Well, we'll have that conversation with Dr. Prasad next week. So we're going to find out. We're going to hear from him as to why it was that he decided that there was a connection between good or poor nutrition and brain issues as serious as Huntington's disease. And if there is an application to vitamins and minerals with Huntington's disease and some of the symptoms parallel or mimic COVID brain or COVID fog, is there a potential that a person could benefit neurologically by adding a micronutrient, a high quality military grade micronutrient to their diet? And if that's the case, anybody that you invite next week, they're going to draw that same conclusion because they're going to hear it from the scientists, not from me, a researcher, not from you, and whatever your profession might be, a person who just cares about other people. But they'll hear it directly from the scientists that wrote the book on the subject. So we can look forward to that sometime next week. But in the meantime, For those who are interested in knowing exactly what it is or why that you should be concerned or interested in Micro Daily, you want to get a copy of this science brochure. You really want to get yourself a copy of this, because this brochure is loaded with all of the reasons why everybody should consider adding Micro Daily to their diet. It's not complicated at all. This is one of my favorite pages right here. On the left side, Dr. Prasad did some science and research that proved the product was effective and powerful. Look at the very top one. That's a fruit fly study. He described this to us, that they took some nutrients in very small, tiny amounts, and made it so that it could have an impact on a fruit fly, because they gave the fruit fly cancer. Then they fed it, some of the fruit flies that were genetically given cancer, they fed them with the micronutrient formula, and the cancer stopped. The ones that they didn't feed the micronutrient formula developed cancer. Very simple, but it showed that it happened in fruit flies. Then those two pink things, or the pink thing on the right and the one on the left, is the organs of a rabbit. Both of those were irradiated. Look at that carefully. Both of these livers were irradiated. Now, if you had a choice and these were human livers, which one would you want the doctor to use to implant into you? That one that looks like it's about to turn into mush, or that nice fresh one there on the right that looks like it's alive and healthy? Okay, I led you into that one, right? Obviously, you'd want the one that's on the right that's alive and healthy. Well, both of those are irradiated livers. Only the one on the right was treated with a cocktail of micronutrients. That happens inside your body the same way. That's what happens inside our body. And the reason it happens in our body is simply because of something called oxidative stress and free radical damage. And now the rest of the research studies that you see on the left side of the page there's a bunch of them. Those research studies are excellent, and we'll talk about some of those again. We've gone through a bunch of them, but we're going to be going back through those again. And on the right side, you see the patents. There's a list of patents. My favorite is the one that kind of makes me sad all over again, but it's the one here it's on the right side of the page, but the left side of the column. Micronutrient formulation for treatment of diabetes mellitus. So there's the kicker-inner that the intensive care nurse couldn't seem to find when my mother was dying and needed it. So here it is. And this one has been given a patent for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. So diabetes should not be a killer, but right now it's the number 4 or number 5 leading cause of death in this country. And right now there's 130 million people in this country that are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And you should be saying to yourself, how and why is that the case in the wealthiest country on the planet? How can that be? Part of it is because of what we see on the left side of the page here, the causes of bad health. And once again, it's just an illustration, but a normal cell is the blue ball on the left. A cell that has been damaged by oxidative stress is the ball on the right. In the middle is the progression between the two. So you see those little orange dots. Those little orange dots are free radicals attacking cells. That happens inside your body all day long, every day. And if you were not fighting back, if you were not using antioxidants to fight back, your cells end up like the one on the right. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Where do you get these free radicals? Where do you get the free radicals? That comes from everywhere. We eat it, we breathe it, we drink it. So, and you bathe in it. So it's being absorbed in our bodies. That's where we're getting free radicals from. But the antioxidants, or the fight back component of it, that's where you need something like Micro Daily. Now, if you can find, some powerful antioxidants that's more powerful than this, That's great. I think that's wonderful. But I know that in my 30 plus years of doing research, this is the top of the shelf. This is the one that is the best out of them all. There's a whole bunch of other ones here that you go into Walmart and you'll see a shelf there at eye level. The ones sitting there at eye level, those are the ones they want you to buy because that's the ones they make the most money on. But the ones way up at the top might be the higher quality ones, but maybe it's out of your reach. They don't make as much money on those. Well, that's what this would end up being. If it was in Walmart, it'd be on the top shelf because it's that good. It's that good. And for quite a while, only the military had access to this. But now you and I, average people, have access to it because of that man right there. So make sure you invite your guest back next week. We're going to be interviewing that man right there about the work that he's done. He was the world's first radiation biologist, PhD. He was awarded 7 U.S. patents on micronutrients. He was awarded $12 million by Congress. There's been a total of $25 million in research just to come up with MMF, which is now called microdaily. And he discovered that vitamin E succinate had anti-cancer properties. Vitamin E succinate. Did you even know there was such a thing called vitamin E succinate? I did not. Did you even know that there was more than one kind of vitamin E? I did not. There's multiple kinds of vitamin E, but he figured out of all the different vitamins that he put together in this formula, he figured out which ones are the best from the best sources and the exact right quantities when combined together to keep the body in optimum health. And with that remaining in optimum health, that's why the government was so interested in it, because now what that means is that their main purpose of keeping soldiers healthy on the battlefield could be accomplished. And that's what it was all about. That package you see up there in the top right, that's what the military used because it could fit in that little side panel on a soldier's fatigue. And if he had nothing else to eat and he just took 2 of those on the left and 2 of them on the right, he could live. So if he was eating also, he was now getting the highest level of nutrients while he was in the most toxic environment on the planet. So that's the long and the short of it as far as a summary of what MicroDaily is and why you should make sure that every single person that you care about is here next week as we have our discussion with Dr. Prasad. And it would also be very wise that if you're here for the first time right now, just get back with the person who invited you and they'll help you set up your own wholesale account to buy the product. There's several of them. You may have seen in the pictures, there's a green bottle, purple bottle, there's a yellow bottle, there's a children's formula, and then there's a powder formula that you can mix in water like this. But the one that I believe is the best and has the most power is the EMF formula. For many years, I did not feel that way because I didn't take the time to explore it. But once I took a closer look at it, this is the right one to use. And now I'm taking 6 of these twice a day. And I say 6. The average person would take 3 of them twice a day, and that would be sufficient. But it has additional ingredients beyond what Dr. Prasad got his patents for. It has additional ingredients to help fight EMF that's being caused by 5G radiation. And do not kid yourself. We are being bombarded by massive amounts of radiation. And the more 5G is available in your area, the higher amounts of the radiation that we're being plastered with. So that's the one I think you ought to go with if you're looking to get started on one. 3 capsules of the EMF formula is equal to 2 capsules of the others. Okay, so just remember that. Don't just take 2 of these because you're not getting the right dosage. Take 3 of these twice a day. So like I said, I'm doing double that. I'm doing like 6 twice a day right now, and loving it. Gives me all kinds of insane amounts of energy. But I also recommend, since we're on the subject of COVID brain, you might want to consider this too, because Dr. Prasad had the nerve to add in brain food. He described this as the nutrients that literally feed the neurons in our brain. This feeds neurons. There was a time when scientists believed that once you lost a brain cell, that was it, it was gone. But now they know better. We can actually grow new ones. So I highly recommend that you add to your diet something that's stimulating the growth of neurons in your brain. And this is one of those that's doing it. We also have the eye boost. So if you're having trouble with your eyes, you might want to consider adding this to your subscription as well. And our newest product is the collagen. I had a whole box of them here a moment ago. Here we go. Hold on one second. Now listen carefully, folks. This is the collagen. Dr. Prasad believes that this is going to eclipse MicroDaily in sales and effectiveness. He believes this is going to eclipse it. Now I'm going to show you one slide here, if I can bring it up, that may help you to understand why Dr. Prasad believes that. Computer's like a bad child, only acts up when company comes around. Okay, don't need sound, so just share the screen. Now, these are just some of the benefits to collagen. One scoop twice a day. And I believe they described it that the scoop, Dave Nemelka, the CEO of the company, said that he couldn't find a scoop that had the exact right dosage. So a scoop is, a dose is 2/3 of the scoop. So don't fill the whole scoop up. You'll use it up prematurely, unless you just want to. But it's 2/3 of the scoop is the correct dosage for the collagen daily. So do that twice a day. But take a good look and see if you can identify the benefit that has that should be getting your attention today in particular, based on our subject matter. Does anybody see that? Yeah, I know you see it. It's the, go ahead, who's speaking? Say it.
Improve memory by removing beta amyloids, which kill cholinergic neurons responsible for storing memory from the brain. And then improve memory and learning ability by upregulating BDNF, which is brain-derived neurotrophic factor.
If you only buy this product for that reason alone, that's enough. Now, just roll back in time from what we just discussed today. Dr. Prasad wrote the book on vitamins and minerals for Huntington's disease and Parkinson's. He's also got a book on Alzheimer's. He's also got a book on brain concussions. And now, so that tells you the power of this. Then he came out with this, the brain boost. And now we have this. This is like a brain tower. This is a brain tower, okay? So if you like your thinking faculties the way that they are today, that's your ticket right there, okay? All right, so let's stop right here and see if there's some questions, or you can share your story with us. If you have a story you'd like to share of some benefits that you have derived so far from any of the Engage Global products.
I have a question.
Yes, your name, please?
Valencia.
Valencia, go ahead, Valencia.
So should we, with the new collagen and being on MicroDaily, should you take them both or stop taking MicroDaily?
I'm taking 6 MicroDaily twice a day. Again, that's personal. I'm 60 years old. I don't have any health problems. I just don't want any. So I find that I function better with 6. And the other reason is we're in Boston right now. And you probably have not concerned yourself with the weather up here. But last night it was like 49 or 50 degrees up here. And yesterday, when I went out walking early in the morning, I go out with my shorts on and my sleeveless, gym shirt, and I'm just going to go ahead and do a 5-mile walk down into town and back. Is what I'm thinking. And I have no idea until I get down to the end of the block that I'm actually shivering. This is June. It's June, and I'm shivering. So by the time I get back, I've got chills, and I'm actually, something is going on. So that's another reason why I increased my dosage. But the moment that my collagen arrived, I pulled that scooper out and took it right away. I will do 2 scoops of this every single day, and I will do brain boost. I do it every single day. So from a personal point of view, yes, I 100% recommend that all of these be taken every single day together. They can be, and Dr. Prasad said that they work synergistically. It's not either or. They all work together because they're doing different functions. Micro Daily is particularly targeting free radicals in the brain. It's an antioxidant for the brain. It's like WD-40 for the brain. But collagen and brain boost is like food for the brain. So they have different functions. So just think of it that way. And but you go with whatever your budget can afford. You do what you can afford, not what you can't afford. But my question to anybody in that situation is, how valuable is your brain? So I hope that answers your question, Valencia.
It does. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Okay.
Jonathan, this is Stephanie. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you quite well, Stephanie.
Okay.
Go ahead.
If you could show that other product when you were just showing the collagen and you had a bottle on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't see what it was when you said those two go together. Oh, you had all 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. That's what it was. Okay, great. Thank
They
you.
all go together. Wayne, Sally Lance. Go ahead, please, Sally.
Oh, okay. Hi, Wayne's my husband. Anyways, I was just wondering, I just wanted to say that it seems to be enhancing memory in my daughter from way back when she was very young. So I'm sure, has that happened to anyone else, that it helps to rejuvenate memory that she lost over like decades? She's in her 40s.
Oh my. No, I have. That's the first that I've heard someone that has brought back memories from that long ago. But the moment that I saw my sister-in-law here, her first words were, I got notice that I should be taking Brain Boost in a package from Engage Global, so I added the Brain Boost. And she said the minute that I took it, she said, oh wow, that's how my brain's supposed to be working. It's like she woke up. And those were her first words to me. Not hello, how you doing? Hope, glad you had a safe trip. How was the ride? Nothing. No, my brain woke up.
Yeah, that's what we find too, that we're more clear. We can see things that we never noticed. Driving down the road, we see the beautiful, the greenery and things that we just never seem to notice before. Yeah.
I personally am finding that I don't grasp for words, because as I was getting older and older, I was starting to lose, realize that I was kind of losing a half step. It seems like it wasn't anything big, but I was noticing it. And because I could see a phone number one time and days later, relate it back. But I wouldn't even try that, for a while. So, but I am noticing that that my memory is clicking like it was 10, 15 years ago. It's better. I feel like things are firing a lot better. So I will never stop taking these products personally.
Yeah, that's what we find.
Your daughter had some more results too. So why don't you go ahead and just give us a brief summary of what happened to her as far as she has a severe brain disorder, schizophrenia.
Yes, yeah, because she had brain damage when she was 14 months old. She ended up being a grand mal epileptic seizure, and her heart stopped for 4 minutes, so she didn't get the oxygen to her brain. And down through the years, she had petite mal mostly, but at her teen years, she developed schizophrenia. And so since she started taking the micronutrients, she's the voices and hallucinations disappear. They come back a little bit at times, but then they disappear again, like very faint. They just come back and then they disappear. So it seems like the cells are connecting or something. And when we watch shows on TV that, like, well, for myself, I know personally, I might watch, like, I used to watch the Waltons with my mom when I was a little young teenager. And now I never connected it. Even over the last 10 years, we watched it. But now rewatching them, I'm understanding the whys and wherefores, what's going on. So, that's amazing.
That's nice. That's nice. Very good. Thank you. And it's amazing now that Dr. Nkuzi said to me that schizophrenia is the worst of all the neurological disorders. He said it's the worst one. He said if you had to have a brain disease, he said even Alzheimer's. He said, but schizophrenia is like the worst of them. So if your daughter is having benefits from MicroDaily by itself, that really does say something for the rest of us. There's hope for the rest of us.
Well, she does take Brain Boost, and I take Brain Boost. But she also, I wonder about the collagen. Do you, for that, will it enhance it if she puts a collagen on her forehead, like on the sides of her neck, like, to help to get the oxygen to her brain or something that's her heart, whatever's causing her to, be.
Just take it. Yeah, she can just take it. Just 2/3 of a scoop twice a day. And see the line that Alfreda read there, improved memory by removing beta amyloids. That amyloid plaque. I still remember the day that Nkuzi called me. He was doing a lot of research on the brain. And he said, it's because the brain has trouble removing this waste matter called amyloid from the brain. That's what leads to Alzheimer's. So he said, you got to get this amyloid out of there. So if this collagen is working to remove amyloid, that's huge, folks. That's huge. And as you can see, it kills neurons responsible for storing memory in the brain. It is responsible. Amyloids kill the neurons responsible for storing memory.
So you don't put it on you too? Do you like on your skin?
No, this is all internal. This is edible. Just eat it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little powder. If you're doing making a protein shake every day, just add 2/3 of a scoop into your shake. Whatever it is you're drinking. I tried it just about 2 hours ago before our program here, and tastes like nothing. I just had it in water. And it didn't taste like anything at all. So I think you can add it to anything and won't even notice that it's there.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your question. Thank you for sharing your story. Okay. Anyone else? We have time for maybe one more here real quick. One more. Okay. All right. Very good. So let's say this as a reminder. Next week on Sunday, get the word out. We're talking about COVID brain and micronutrients with Dr. Prasad. We're going to interview him. His book is going to be Heart and Soul at the center of our discussion. We want to know what the connection is and how it compares, what his research was and how it compares to the current challenge that folks are having. It really scares me to think that this disease is running so rampant and people are being somewhat cavalier about it because they're convinced that the vaccine, of course, will stop them from having severe disease. But I think by now everyone knows that the vaccine does not stop you from having disease. And they're also finding out that even mild cases of the disease is causing memory issues and brain issues. That's just one of the complications of this COVID. So we can offset that by putting proper nutrition into our body, offset that by taking steps to improve our immune system's function. And so far we covered 2 reports that demonstrate without shadow of a doubt that for some reason, a virus that's a respiratory virus makes its way to the brain. And when it makes its way to the brain, the reaction of the immune system up there causes damage to brain cells. So it's time to protect those brain cells, because let me tell you, the one thing that you don't want to lose is your mental faculties, not as we age. And even if you're young and think you can burn up a few brain cells here and there, you don't want to lose your mental faculties. That's the one thing you do not want to lose. It was last week that Errol shared a story of a friend that he gave some microdaily to, and he was following his wife around, unable to function, because that's the only thing he knew. He didn't really recognize her, but he followed her around. And so he gave him a gift of a bottle of microdaily. And the man called him up, about 2 weeks later, I think he said, and said, thank you. The wife called up and she just couldn't believe it. She said, you didn't just claim you were going to do something, you actually did something. But he got phone calls of thank you, because that man came back. All he needed was some good food. But anyway, this is going to bring our discussion to an end for today. Keep in mind, testimonials are anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. We're not making any medical claims. There is no nutritional supplement like this or any other that is a treatment or cure for a disease. This is simply a dietary supplement, and it helps the body have proper nutrition. That's it. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. Don't do anything I say to do just because I say to do it. In fact, you're better off simply ignoring what I say. This information is presented just for educational purposes only. It's just a matter of research and public information. And before we wrap up, we got one more question here. Valencia, go ahead.
I don't pretty much have a question. I just like to make a statement. I mean, I am a sarcoidosis patient, which is inflammation of the lungs. I contacted COVID, and I had already told my family, I said, well, you guys can count it down from 10 if I get COVID because of my lungs. So I've been on MicroDaily for close to 5 years. And when I contacted COVID, it seemed like I just had the flu. And I thought that if I got COVID, that would be the end of me, because I only have 40% of my lungs left.
Oh, wow.
So since being on MicroDaily, I mean, it's really helped me through this whole ordeal.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you did contract COVID?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
Yep. It was just like having the flu.
It was just like having the flu.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, because that's not, how long ago did you get it?
It was like a month and a half ago now.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful to hear. We're not happy that you got COVID, but
Right.
we are happy that you came through it, you survived it. That's beautiful to hear. So yeah, you keep it up. And that's part of one of the things that I've been encouraging folks. I believe that we should have as many things as possible in our arsenal. I've got a number of things in my arsenal because I believe that there's no one thing that will do it by itself. The one thing I think that's the most important are these engaged global products. But I do believe that there's another product called ImmuneRx that modifies the cytokine system that's extremely good, extremely, extremely good. It's called ImmuneRx. And you just spray it under the tongue, and if the immune system is overreacting, it calms it down. If it's underreacting, it pops it up. It has been working synergistically with this package right here. So very good. So if you want information about that, you feel free, you can text me, 754-300-8909, 754-300-8909, and I'll be happy to send information on that. There's a BOGO going on right now for that, by the way. We really want people just to have it in your refrigerator. Keep it in case of emergency. Everyone needs to have it on hand. So, well, very good. Thank you again, Valencia, for your story.
No problem.
Sally was asking another question. So heart murmur, COVID shot. Yeah, that's sad. Tell us about that, Sally.
Oh, my daughter just called me this week. She said her baby, or last week, that her baby has a heart murmur, and she really believes it came from directly. Well, the doctor was concerned about her getting the COVID after she got the COVID shot, but she didn't know she was expecting, and she already had COVID. So she was sick the whole 9 months, like just so sick, stomach turning and pain in her side the whole time. So her baby's, thankfully healthy other than the heart murmur. So, but she's very concerned it's from that. So I'm wondering maybe the collagen, I don't know how young a baby could take it in the yogurt or something, not yogurt, I guess in whatever she can give the baby through a bottle or something. I don't know.
Focus on micro daily with the baby.
Okay, micro daily. Okay.
Yeah, it's very good for the heart. Remember, I'm not sure if I shared the story with Jacqueline Gray or not. If I didn't, we'll share that again. I think I sent the link out for it, but she had mitral valve prolapse, and there was no collagen at the time. It was all just microdaily. That's what she took. And her doctor said that she does not have mitral valve prolapse anymore. So,
it's good to know.
And that's a mechanical problem, and those don't heal themselves. They usually have to heal them surgically. So, babies, infants can take it. Folks have been asking Dr. Prasad about giving it to infants and things like that, and the scientists will say, no, don't do it. But we've had lots of folks who anecdotally have given it to their infants, and with good results. Okay?
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're quite welcome.
Yeah, I was going to say, also remember Jared with his infant son.
Yeah.
He just recently sent me a picture of his little boy, and I mean, he looks so healthy. And I think he was taking it as young as, was he a month old or 2 months? I can't remember.
It was super young. It was like below 6 months. I know that.
Right, but he was taking it because he was having problems with his kidneys, and so he says that, in the future when he gets older, because there is something that's stuck together, he still has to have that surgery, but they're going to wait until he's older because he's doing so well. Like he's not having any of the issues. I can't remember, but I know it had to do with his kidneys. And so Jarrett was concerned because they were giving him very strong antibiotics. And, here he's, like a month or two old. But he's doing really, really well. And then his 2-year-old daughter, she drinks the Micro Daily Hydro better than she does milk.
Yep. No surprises there. No surprises there. So we should be very thankful for modern medicine. I'm being a little bit facetious. We should be thankful for Dr. Prasad and his science and his research. So let's just correct that so people don't get the impression I'm saying the wrong thing.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Alfreda. Thank you for your support. For any who would like to stick around for a business meeting, we're going to have a brief business meeting. It's going to last 9 minutes and 35 seconds. So if you want to stick around for that, that's great. But if you were here for the main part of the meeting, you can feel free to log off now. We are going to be making our transition right now. Okay. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Boy, the brain is something else.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
See that that bumper sticker of all the things I've lost, I miss my mind the most.
I've seen that.
That's a terrible bumper sticker.
Oh, don't forget everybody that in order to get the price that it is now till the end of the year, you have to put it on your auto ship for the collagen.
Yes. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Make sure you do that. Add the collagen to your auto ship. We should remember that before 10 people logged off, but we'll send that out in a blast text message to everybody to remember to do that. This collagen is an amazing, amazing, amazing product.
I just couldn't get it through WhatsApp because of being in Canada. I don't think I could take texts without being charged. I know I can't text long distance anymore.
Okay, well, you better block it, because the communication system that Engage Global has is in the back office, and all it does is allows me to just send one message to everybody at the time, and with whatever system you decided was okay for you. So
Okay.
I think you can call it Engage Global and tell them don't send you text messages.
You could change maybe to WhatsApp. I don't know.
Their system does not connect to WhatsApp, but I'm always trying to make sure that I still post information in WhatsApp also.
It's hard. It's remember so much. Okay, thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
We might get the long distance to the States.
Oh yeah. Well, international is always a pain. Okay, so just real briefly, folks, if you have not become an affiliate with Engage Global already, there's compelling reason why you should. It only costs $30, number one. And I've never been a part of any network marketing company that, first of all, does not consider itself to be a network marketing company and considers itself to be an affiliate marketing company. So that's where we are right now. But my mind is still dialed into network marketing, because affiliate marketing, network marketing, it's all about relationships. So it's about your not exploiting relationships, but taking advantage of them and helping your relationships and your connections benefit from what you happen to know. You won't hear what we just talked about. You won't hear it anywhere on television. You won't hear any of this stuff condensed and narrowed down into one little package that makes any sense. No one will talk about that. Out of all the searching I did for information about COVID brain, no one, not one single person said, you know what, you need some more micronutrients in your body. They didn't do that. They all said, we just hope they hurry up and start doing some more research and come up with some solutions to help the brain. That's all they all said, everything. You have a solution. You have a way to help people. No matter what their issue is, you have a way to help people. If we go back and take a look again at Dr. Prasad's, what this man has done, let's see if I can find that real quick. Now, I'm going to just share the screen real briefly, because this, to me, relates to business as well as the income side of business. These are just some of the books that this man has published, and he's working on one or two more. He's 87 years old, and he's still writing books. Help me understand that. So on this list, he's got, I see on the left side here, 1, 2, 3 of them that have to do with cancer. And on the right side, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more, 8 more that have to do with cancer. So 11 out of his books all have something to do with helping the body naturally address cancer. He's also obviously a world-renowned expert on radiation. So look at the topics, look at the titles. He's written about how micronutrients have an impact on radiation. And we have this in a $73 bottle, and you can buy it for as cheap as $53. And there's a bundle now. I forgot to show the bundle picture. If I can find that real quick. Because there's a bundle price that you really want to make sure that you take advantage of. Collagen bundles. Is this the, are you guys seeing the collagen bundle?
Not the actual.
You got to click on it.
I clicked on it, but it doesn't, it brought it up in a different window. There it is now. So these are the bundles. And I just forgot that I had the picture already set. So this is the brain tower that I was talking about right there on the right side. If you don't do anything else, it's that brain tower. That's what you want. And notice free shipping. So basically the price of the shipping has been tied into the entire package there. So, but when you're introducing it to your clients, you just use that as a closing point. When you get the bundle, you can also get it for free shipping. So it's targeting for new people signing up. Okay.
Is that going to be all the time or just this month? The free shipping.
That's going forward. That's going forward. Again, it's all targeting new people. That's the whole goal. It's for new people, new subscribers. Nothing changes for any of us, but when they buy that bundle, that's the price, $166. With $15 savings. Add the iBoost to it, $25 savings, shipping's out. That's it, out the door. The only thing that's not shown there is taxes. In the event that that where you are charges taxes. So the 166 bundle, if you get a person on subscription for 166, the company sends you $150 commission on that the first month. So they spend 166, you get a total of $150. So the cap is 150, the all of it bonus. The all of it bonus caps at 150. Then above that, you still get the 20%, as much as 30% commission on everything above that, depending on what level you are in the customer world. So there's good reason why you would want to share this particular bundle, this package, with as many people as possible, besides the fact that they get the health benefits of it. Okay. Go ahead, please, Dolores.
Just had a question about the bundles. Those bundles are only good for new people, not existing customers.
Existing customers would be wise to add the collagen to their subscription. And if I've done the math on it, basically we get the exact same prices, but they package it as a bundle that way so that it's easier for new people to be able to get it.
I understand, okay.
No, but we can order it as a bundle.
You can, yes, you can. You can. It's really no difference at all. Yes, but that's the target. We just had a big discussion about that the other night with the growth team. But that is it. But the target for that particular bundle, expressed that way, is about new people. That's all it really is. But there's no different for any of us. We still get the same exact thing and basically wind up with the same prices. It's all the same. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So, but from a sales point of view, just be thinking in terms of trying to help your people to understand that this bundle is the best package for them. Okay, and you make the most money on that. So customers is not a bad thing. Now, mind you, if you sign up a health advocate and they put this on a subscription as well, you still get the same pay. So health advocates is good. You still get the exact same pay if they add this to their subscription. But the way that I sign up health advocates, I tell them how they can get theirs for free. So I get them to become a health advocate, but I also want to know for sure that they really want to build a business. My goal is not to just sign up a bunch of health advocates. I want to sign up a health advocate that's really going to build a business. If they're not going to build a business, then I would rather they just be a customer. But if I do just want to try to get them interested and sort of get them motivated to become a health advocate, thinking that they will continue to recommend to folks, then I show them how they can sign themselves up for $30 and then plug their wife in as their first customer, and then they will get the all of it bonus. And that may motivate them to continue doing that. And once they start doing that, and they realize that they can do that over and over and over again, they might continue. So that's not a bad thing to do that, to use that technique. Okay, so sign them up. Tell them that if you for $30, you can come in and become an affiliate. Then put your wife in as your first customer. You make $150 on that first sale instead of me making it. So that's a good way to to close somebody out and to get them to go ahead and come into the business. All right, it's a big deal, and that's just part of the compensation for this. And right now we're putting together a plan so that we can explode. The initial test marketing, did I tell you guys that the initial test marketing, Facebook rejected our initial ad? Could have told you that because it happened sometime this week, right? I didn't tell you guys about that, right?
Yes, you did.
I did tell you about that.
Last Sunday.
Okay. So we're redoing that to make sure that we can get past that. Turns out there was another page in the website that had that picture on it. So that could be the reason for it. So we're going to go ahead and make that adjustment, take that, alter that picture also, and resubmit it today, tomorrow, and see if it goes through, and then see what the results are coming back. And then once we start getting the results, and once we start closing people out, then we're going to be opening this entire program up to anybody who wants to help us to expand and to go further with marketing it. I am convinced that that system is going to work because it worked before. So it's not new. This is not something new. It's really an old concept. We just got to make sure that we find the right target market. In the field of marketing, it's 3 attempts to reach your target market. And then you've got to reach the person 3 times before they act. So that means it takes 9 attempts to reach the person before they'll actually do something, with it. So, but as long as there's something out there for free, that's a big, big, big thing. That's a big draw. And you can sometimes cut down, on the speed of the response by offering something free. And then we'll further discuss that. So we're going to have separate special meetings where we talk about how we're going to be closing out those folks and building our businesses around that system. Okay, so you can look forward to that. Okay, Alfreda, do we need to pass on anything else before we close out? No, don't see anything here.
Oh, wait. Yes. Sorry. I was just talking. We're almost, we got 11 days to go. And so the Show Me the Money bonus is still going on. So pay attention to your numbers and make sure you're hitting, the organizational qualifying volume has to be either 1,500, 3,000, 6,000, or 10,000. And if you have hit it in the past 2 months, you have to go to the next level, correct, to earn the next bonus. It's not just if you hit the same level again. So if you made it to Health Advocate 2 last month, then you need to make it to Health Advocate 3 this month. So if anybody in my group, if you need help looking at those numbers, just give me a call, because sometimes, like when you do customers, that doesn't hit in that bucket. You're earning points, but you're only going to get, well, not only, but you'll get 10 to 30% on that bucket, because remember, we get paid 3 different ways. And so the way that you fill the OQV is by advocates that make a purchase, and then also that advocates customers count in that way, but your customers don't count for that bucket. So everything that comes from that line of the affiliate, that you've brought in. If they bring in 10 customers, then you get credit for that. And for the first 3 levels, you only get credit for 50% of what your affiliates do towards what you need to do. So hopefully that didn't sound confusing.
Very good. Bottom line is sell, sell, sell. Tell, tell, tell. Help as many people as possible.
Right. Yeah. And then I noticed too, I want to recognize Norma and Rob are my strong hitters on my team, and so congratulations to both of them. They were both very busy yesterday. But I noticed that when on the preferred customers, the order doesn't show right away. So it's not changing the numbers. I don't know what's behind that. And then, Rob had also mentioned, I don't know if you could mention it here, Rob, what the problems you were having on the website or anything, because Jonathan might be the advocate to.
No, actually, well, it is. They changed the website.
Yep.
And I just had to get myself acclimated to it, and I figured it out. It is going to be a smoother transition than the old website.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah. It's cleaner and simpler. There were some products I think that are missing that they're going to add back on. Some of the combos.
Yes. Yeah.
But a bunch of those combos, people weren't really buying them. They weren't being added onto subscriptions. So they're taking away the ones that were not being used the most. So they're wanting to grow. They're wanting to blow it up. They're trying to make things as simple as possible so people don't get confused.
Actually, the bundle they took off was the Micro Daily EMF, the Brain Boost, and the Eye Boost.
Mm-hmm.
They took that bundle off of the site.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that one's off. Okay, send me a note if you guys see some of them that that you especially liked and that you were about to start targeting, a lot.
Okay.
Email that to me, and then I'll send it over to Dave and to Robin and say, listen, my group is really anxious for these. Put these bundles back if you can. They want to start pushing those.
Sure. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it wasn't available that many months as a bundle like that, so they have to really stay behind it too.
Right. Okay. Now, early in the month of July, we're starting to make some plans that we're going to see if we can't schedule, a nice big training day, so we can start passing on some marketing and sales techniques. But I'm hoping that day will be a day where we as a group basically are focusing on those leads. So between now and then, unofficially, I'm targeting for maybe around the second week of July. So if you want to pencil in the second Saturday of July, starting at about 11 o'clock, we may do like a 2 or 3 hour training session where that's what we're focusing on, is how we can take care of folks in your warm market, your own personal marketing efforts, but then also by that time we should have a plan as to how we're going to move forward with the freemicrodaily.com website. So like I said, we bought about 20 different domain names: freemicrodaily.com, microdailyfree.com, microdailyemf.com, microdaily5g.com, microdailysamples.com, discountmicrodaily.com. There's about 15 or 20. I've just bought up a whole bunch of them. And there's going to be a website behind every single one of them, all with ads being run on them, all targeting, getting people to sign up for free samples of MicroDaily. And somebody's going to need to help us to close out those leads that will be coming in. They will be coming in, and they're going to be coming in by, I believe, by the hundreds and thousands. Okay.
Sounds good.
Look out.
Sounds awesome.
Look out. It's going to be coming.
Okay.
My programmer, the one programmer that I need is coming back on board. When he told me he had COVID and they were sick, I had Joanna, like I told you guys, FedEx him some products. So I think he's just about back on his feet, and I'm about ready to get started. So what we need for him to do to make sure is he manages the database for us and make sure that you can log into your own portal and access your leads. So that system is being built. So hopefully by the second week of July, we'll be ready to roll that out. Okay,
All right.
So ready, folks. Okay, any last minute question before we wrap up? It's been 9 minutes and 50 seconds instead of 8 minutes and 49 seconds, like I said. So we were a minute over. All right, very good. Bring guests next Saturday. We really need to get like 100 people next week, over 100. We need to exceed 100 next week. There's absolutely no reason why we should not have 100 people on this meeting next week with Dr. Prasad. COVID brain, everybody's got the problem. Memory, everybody's got the problem.
Question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When will we be able to get the link
for that meeting?
Yes.
I'll email it to you right now. I just got the
okay.
Hang on. I'll tell you right. I'll show you the flyer right now. They just sent it to me. The actual
Is there a flyer that we can share?
Yeah, they sent it to me the other day. Where is it here? How come I don't see it? Oh, here it is. So I'll send it out to everybody. They design these in their in-house, marketing department. So it's got the information. It's got the meeting code and ID. We use the same meeting code and password every time. So the same Sunday code is always going to be on the flyers, having to do with my meetings. So that same meeting ID won't change, and the password will always be microdaily, just like you see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So for anyone who has not joined the WhatsApp chat, because I post a lot of links to videos, updates, and other things. It's a one-way chat. I'm going to probably be going ahead and putting together a chat in Facebook also for those who are there. But the WhatsApp chat, I'll send that out through the back office also, so that anybody that wants to join that chat can. And Alfreda can also invite you guys into that chat. So it's the easiest way to get these things like flyers and notices about this kind of stuff. Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Keep up the
That's
good
it.
work, you guys.
All right.
And excited to be working with you, and looking forward to everybody hitting legacy within the next 6 months. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.